Hi, everybody. This is Anthony Hines. As everybody knows, I've been helping people try to advance their career for many, many years. And what I've done is I've done what I can to try to help people in any way that I can, so that we can um, make your career advance and things can go well in your career and who knows, maybe even get a great raise or get a great promotion or the like. Um, what we're doing today is we're going to talk about some great tips to help you to get active and help you to get really, really moving into job search. And I wanted to talk while I'm waiting for our people to join, while I'm waiting for some of the guests to join or the like. I want to talk to you about some very, very basic things that you can do to get your job search moving. First of all, I want you every day to post on LinkedIn. Post something about your interests, post something about maybe an article, post something about what you're doing that's to do with your professional development, post about a class you've taken. What you want to do is post about things that you're doing to develop yourself. Okay. So that's what I want you to do. I wanted you to make sure that every day you're out there, you're active, you're going out, you're posting, and you're making sure that your network always sees the things that you post because that's really, really important. Make sure that your network sees your updates because that is really, really important. And that is key to making sure that your network remembers that you're working. I mean, you're working towards getting a job, right? So what we want to do is keep posting, get out there. Then I want you to join as many of the LinkedIn groups as you can that are about your industry. And then I want you to either start creating discussions or I want you to start commenting a lot in those discussions that are already out there. Your opinion matters. Don't be discounting this, everybody. Your opinion matters. So get in these discussions. LinkedIn loves it when you get in these discussions because they see that you're active, they see that you're providing information, they see that you're out there, they see that you're alive, they see that you're a resource that's going to become maybe a subject matter expert, right? Down the road. But the fact of the matter is, what you're going to do is you're going to get noticed. And then if you're in those groups and you're in those descriptions, what you want to do is make sure that you are out there. And if you get engaged with someone and get with someone that, is going back and forth with you and they get along, reach out and connect with them. You don't know who you could be connecting with that could be someone that could help you down the road, maybe somebody that could help you to become, a little better at what you do, somebody you can learn from. I don't know. Every contact I make, you never know what what someone's going to do or how they're going to help you. But it all starts with being active on LinkedIn and being active in discussions and be active you know, in the way that you communicate on LinkedIn, so people see you and they understand that you're out there, you're diligent, you're passionate, and you're a great candidate. The next thing we want to do is really think about your LinkedIn profile. Number one, your picture. Make sure you have a picture. A lot of people don't have pictures. Don't ask me why, but they don't have pictures. I think you should have a picture because I think what's important is that it completes your profile. Okay, some people that are in creative do avatars. That's up to them. That's up to you. My point is, you can either get a professional picture or some form of picture because that is key to making sure that you are noticed and that your profile looks complete. Next, I want to make sure that you have an end date on your previous job if, in fact, you're no longer working. Because the key is, if you have an end date on your job, now a recruiter can find you because they know you're not working. A lot of people, they keep that they're still working at the job. Why would you do that if you're not working there? Because the reality is, if you want recruiters to find you, you've got to make sure that you let them know you're out there, either by the open to work banner or the other uh, the other factors or the other types of banners. My point is, make sure that you are, as they say, make sure that you're able to let people know that you're out there and let people know that it's clear to them that they find you, because that way when they find, it's easy for them to find you because of the fact that they know you're not working at this time. They know it's clear you're looking for new opportunities. It's very clear on your profile. That's very basic stuff because a lot of people are convoluted. Some people are ashamed that they're out of work. Guess what? There's nothing to be ashamed of. You didn't ask for this. You didn't, you didn't cause this in most cases. My point is, you are someone that's looking for your next opportunity. So you embrace this. You go out and you show everybody that you're a great candidate. You show them that you're looking, because this is what's happening. This is where you are. This is what's going on. There's no need to hide anything. This is who you are. To the next step of that, are you volunteering in the community? If you are, get that in your LinkedIn profile. Your companies like this because why? They love people who like to be involved with the community, who like to volunteer, because those people, if the 6 o'clock news shows up and these people are working for a company and they have a t-shirt on that shows the company name, guess what? The company gets free publicity. So they love people that love to be in the community. So the fact is, if you're volunteering, that's key. Get it on your profile. Remember, your candidacy is not just your skills. It's about all of you. It's about everything you are. It's everything. It's your interest. It's your passion. It's your experience. It's your education. It's every single thing that you are. So, guys, if you have questions, and I'm sure Jamie will be with us shortly, but if you have questions, please put them in the chat and I'll answer them for you. But remember, I'm going to keep giving you guys tips, right? So I gave you a few already. So the next thing is regarding your interests. If you have an interview with a hiring manager or someone in a company, check their interests. See in their profile if it's something you know a little bit about. That's going to give you something to talk about in your discussion. Remember, everyone, remember, interviews are a conversation. They're not they're not a place where you're on a little chair and the person at the desk is on a big chair and they're talking to you down and you're sitting there in the little chair trying to do that. The answer is, your key is understanding interviews are a conversation. You have just as much to offer. If you were working, you would have just as much to say, but your mind believes because you're not working, you're in a different place. That is baloney, everybody. Your mind should tell you about the opportunity you have being in between positions to educate yourself, to let people know about the education, to place it on your profile. Everything you take on LinkedIn Learning should be clicked on, put it on my profile, get it under education. Everything you take. If you go to the unemployment office and you take if you go to the unemployment office, you take a class, get that on your profile as a class you took. It's learning. Learning of any type should be on your profile because learning of any type is new. It's going to make you a better candidate. Do not discount anything you do. The reality is the number one enemy of a job seeker is humility. Humility is a big enemy of the job seeker. Stop being humble. Talk about yourself. Talk about yourself with confidence. Remember, you have to be your own best advocate. You have to be your own best person to be the one that shows how great you are. But you got to feel it inside, okay? I understand going through the unemployment process is extremely, extremely tough. Why do you think I do all these LinkedIn Lives? Why do you think I do all of these? I did LinkedIn audio events before. Why do you think I had PowerPoints where I did everything? Because I know that feeling. Guys, I had one interview in 13 months when I was unemployed. One interview in 13 months. And I said to myself, once I got a job, that I would help people to show them how to get a job. But I don't do this in a way that's negative. I don't talk about the negative aspects of things you cannot control. What I bring to you, everyone, are the things you can't control. So what did we talk about? We talked about your profile. We talked about providing clarity in the first in the first sentence. Clarity with a picture, clarity with an end date, clarity with the open to work banner because you're going to, people, recruiters are going to see you're open to work. But the reality is this, guys, you're going to get spam. I get it. You're going to get bad people. I get it. But you know what? You know I'm not bad, right? So you're going to keep coming to these events. You're going to check out my LinkedIn profile, right? I mean, my YouTube page that I just put on there because all of my stuff is free on my YouTube page. Then what you're going to do is you're going to do this, okay? You're going to go and sign up for my um, LinkedIn group. Let me tell you about my LinkedIn group, gang. It's got nearly, we're about, we're going to have a celebration. We're about to hit 9,000 people in that group, okay? You get in this group, you're automatically approved. You get in this group, check out the posts. They're pretty good. I put my own posts up there and I let a lot of other people place up there. But the key is this, everyone. When you go into my group and you join, there's other people out there from your industry. They're in the group already. Go through the members of the group. Link to people that are in the group. Tell them I told you to link to them because you're part of the group. Link to people in your industry, project managers, link to project managers, product managers, link to product managers. Marketing people, link to marketing people. That's what the group is out there for. Plus, everyone, the group is filled, and I mean filled, with HR contacts, HR people, recruiters, and the like. But you got to go into the group and you got to see where they are and go out and reach out and talk with them. Okay? This is free. I'm not charging you $7,000 for this, people. This is free. It's on LinkedIn. There's the group. It's real. It's free. My YouTube page, free. Hundreds and hundreds of videos, free. Okay? I'm not, the point of the matter is, I want you to get hired because you know what? I want you to get hired, and then to, um, I want you to tell everybody about my, my stuff and what I do because we got a lot of people that are unemployed that need to get hired. Okay? This is what we got to do, everyone. And then I have a podcast. Okay? Your call if you want the paid version or if you want the free version. I don't care. It's got over 400 podcasts. Some are free, some are at the patron level only. You can check it out with that link. Guess what? I get in your head. And let me tell you why that matters, people. Because when I get in your head, what happens is that people feel more confident, okay? Because they feel more confident because they understand the way I talk. They understand how I drill them on the premise of you're experienced, you're educated, you've been successful, you've been great at what you do, you're a super person, you're really good, you're really special, you're not like anyone else. I keep grinding that. I keep saying that. I keep telling people that. So when they get in the interview, that's how they feel. They feel confident. They feel ready to go. And that's what they do. Okay? Another thing I want you to do, and guys, I'm going to give you these tips one by one. If you have an interview and it's on site, I want you to do this. I want you to go to the location the day before. Do what's called a dry run. What that is, go at around the time your interview is. That way you're going to learn where the parking lot is, where the how the parking is, where the receptionist is, where the front door is. Are there delays? Is there construction? Are there school buses? Are there speed traps? Are there potholes? Are there traffic lights? Are there traffic jams? My point is, when you go the day before, you're not going to be stressed the day of the event. So you want to go the day or the day before, at least a weekday before, so that you can see what the general traffic flow is, what everything is like. Because the fact is, you don't want to be the person that's running in 5 minutes after the interview was supposed to start, and then apologizing because you're late. But guess what? If you go the day before, you're going to have a better understanding of how to get there. Now, usually Jamie Edwards is on with me. He is he's a coach out of Chicago, and he has a lot of good tips and tools. I'm going to actually check in with him, and I'm going to say, "Hey, Jamie, what's going on?" and see if he's coming because the fact is, um, usually he is, but he might light up or whatever. If he's not coming, then we can go from there. Um, the fact is, too, I'm just going to keep going with tips while you people bring me questions. Um, Understand this, everyone. What is very important here is that you need to, if you have people that are taking your energy, remove them. Anybody who's negative, you don't have time for them. You know why? Because all your energy has to be placed on you. So that's something I want you to know and I want you to understand because I want you to not feel bad about that because the fact of the matter is it's really key to understand that you are the most important thing right now. So, because you're the most important thing right now, you have to understand that people who are negative, you really have no time for them. Because the fact is, those people that really, as I say, those people that have that are taking your energy, that's energy that you're not spending on yourself. So it's your time. So, also, next, I want you to make sure that you get every single benefit you deserve. If you go to your unemployment office, if there's federal funding that's available for certifications or things like that, go out and get it. If it's an online unemployment situation where you don't have offices, email them, get answers. Don't sit back, don't wait, don't accept no reply. Get answers. My point is, what are you eligible for? Go out and get them. Go out and get everything you're eligible for. I say this to veterans. I say this to some of my government workers that are out there that may be in transition soon. Get what you're eligible for. Be clear of what the benefits are that you're getting. If you're getting termination services or transition services, don't start the transition services until you're ready to go through the transition process. The transition service people, they're going to want you to join right away because they want to get paid. The reality is, you talk to them, you tell them you're interested, but you say that you're going to start when you're ready. Because when they come at you, they're going to come at you with interviewing tips. They're going to resume stuff. They're going to come at you with a lot of information. So the fact is, it's up to you to you know manage that. You don't just fall into the transition services because it's only a specific amount of time that you have. So my point is, just come out there, make sure. Hey, Jamie, welcome to the party, buddy. Welcome.
What's going on?
Good. I gave them my machine gun worth of tips while I was waiting for you. It's been a while since I've done that. But I was telling people that if they have transition services, they should manage the transition services and not start that until people are ready. Um, people are ready to be part of the transition services process because they're going to want you to join quickly so they get paid. Don't join until you're ready. But Sibyl has a question for you, Jamie, right away. Why don't you talk about yourself? Say how great, talk about the 90% of all people that have talked to you that you've helped to get jobs, and give people the scoop of how special you are in what you do, buddy.
Yeah, definitely. Sorry, I was a little late. I was just finishing up a coaching with a. Well, I was finishing up a coaching session with a client. That actually went a little bit over, but yeah. I see we got some good people in here. First, I see we got Courtney's in here. What's going on, Courtney? Senior Talent Acquisition Specialist. I see that. We got Sybil in here. We got Jerry Jones is in here. I see James Hamilton as well. So welcome, welcome, welcome everybody to the call here. Yeah, let me definitely introduce myself if I'm not connected to any of you now. My name is Jamie Edwards, and I'm a career coach. I have my own company called Jam Sessions with Jamie. I reside right about an hour outside of Chicago, Illinois. And what I do is I provide different services to job seekers in regards to their career search. So everything from resume writing to interview practice to LinkedIn profile optimization. I do a little bit of everything. I focus on those three things because in a job search, obviously the three things that are most important is the resume and the LinkedIn, which obviously gets you the interview, and then the interview gets you the job, right? So I work with job seekers every single day. I just built had a couple resume sessions today that I just finished for a couple clients, but I've been doing this now for about 2.5 years on my own. And I offer to do free discovery calls before anybody works with me, and I do free resume reviews. So if anybody wants to go to my page and connect with me, please don't hesitate to send me a connection request. I post a lot of job searching tips every day and career advice. I'd love to be connected with you guys and have you see some of my content. And I'd be more than happy to have a discovery call with anybody who's interested in coaching services. Just got to go into click on the link. I know Anthony posts a link in here, but there's also a link at the top of my page too, and you can find a time and date that works best for you. And I'd be more than happy to have a conversation and tell you a little bit more about what I do. Let's see. We got Susan in here asking questions. We'll answer some of these in a second. We got Claire Golden. Hello, Claire. Anthony was talking about 90% success rate, right? So I've worked with over 500 different job seekers, over the last 2.5 years. And about 87% of the people that I've worked with have gone on to find their next opportunity. And when you think about that number, I don't take full credit for that, right? Because obviously I take a little bit of credit, right? Because I'm working with these people, but it's all about how people, incorporate my coaching, how they put it in their job search. Do they follow the process? Things like that. So I take pride in what I do. I offer my services at a fraction of what most career coaches with the same reputation as myself cost. And I try to do it so people can afford to work with a career coach, right? And I work with people till they find their next opportunity. So I don't just leave you and ghost you like some other people do, right? Some recruiters do that too, obviously, but no, I stay with you until you find your next opportunity. So that's a little bit about me. Happy to be here. We always do these calls. It's great to answer questions. We got Max Jacomas in here. Max said, thanks, Anthony and Jamie from New York. What's going on? Let me see some of these questions here. Just Sybil says, so how can we impress the interviewer?
So, Jamie, I just answered that for her, but you can take that. What makes her great? I'll misspell great, but okay.
How did you say it? What was your answer?
Well, what I said, Jamie, you can see the chat, right? My answer at the bottom. How you can impress is to be confident, talk freely about what makes you great, and tell special stories about what makes you great, or about what your successes are, or the individualness of why you're special, and be very confident about your candidacy and why you're the best candidate for the job.
Yeah. And make sure when you're answering those behavioral based questions, they're not just being vague with your stories. A lot of people do this in the interview process. They'll ask a question like, tell me about a time when this, or give me an example of when you had to do this, or right? And a lot of times people just kind of are very vague with their stories. They don't have a specific example. They didn't prepare. This is something I do with all my interview sessions is we practice behavioral questions and we talk about the STAR format. And for those who don't know STAR, stands for situation, task, action, and result. And it's something we really focus on in my interview sessions. But really, you can impress the interviewer if you are prepared and ready to go with your answers to behavioral questions and focusing on the results, what the situation was, what was your role, what was their task, what were the actions you took, and what was the result. If you're being very vague and you're just kind of giving a very beat around the bush answer, chances are they're going to hurry and they're going to rush you through. The process, the interview. But if you're very thorough, 2 to 3 minutes, you tell your story, you cover all those bases. That's how you're really going to impress the interviewer, and they're going to know that you did your research. Let's see. We got what do we see here? Susan says, how does someone differentiate their application when companies are receiving over 1,000 resumes? Well, differentiating your application is tough, right? I mean, you're right. First off, if you want to have a better chance of getting interviews, I highly recommend obviously setting up alerts and making sure you're one of those first 15 to 20 people to apply to the role. Now you're probably thinking, well, what about having to tweak my resume for every single job? there's a difference between tweaking your resume and there's a difference between revamping your whole entire resume to fit a job application, right? When people say tweak your resume, what I talk about when tweaking your resume is changing some of the core competencies to match the job requisition. Maybe you change one or two bullet points to match what they're looking for in their next hire. But differentiating yourself, I mean, it's very hard to when you see that many resumes come through, it's hard to differentiate yourself when you're just applying to jobs. But what I would recommend doing is just making sure that you are putting your results in there, results over responsibilities, making sure your accomplishments stand out on your resume, and you have tangible results with percentages or money increasing or decreasing or whatever it is. Making sure you are truly focusing on the results versus responsibilities. So that's just some ways, some different tips that I want to give on that question. That's a great question, Susan. Let's see. Trying to see here. Okay, Anthony. Oh, Claire says, how do you make your resume stand out? Do you include a resume summary? Resume summaries. So when I build resumes, I do include summaries on all my resumes, but they're a little bit different. They're not your typical summary. I call it what I call it is a professional value proposition, or a PVP for short. There's a certain way that I put together the PVP. I kind of have a structure of how I structure each sentence. It's usually about 3 or 4 sentences. It talks about like how many years of experience you have in your field. A couple sentences talk about some of the skills that you need in your field and how those skills are impactful. And then I finalize the value proposition by talking clearly about what it is you're looking to do next and how your skills are going to impact the next company you work for. So, Claire, I'd be more than happy to have a conversation with you on a discovery call if you want. I mean, I build resumes for people, all day long, as I mentioned. I do a lot of resume writing. I'd be happy to take a look at your resume and see if it's something you want me to help you with. And if you want to work with me, I'd be happy to help you out with that. Anthony, go ahead, Anthony. We'll answer some more questions here in a sec.
Jamie, stress to them, discovery calls are 100% free. Correct, Jamie?
Yeah. Discovery calls. Well, yeah. I hate that I have to mention this because you're right. There's a lot of coaches who charge for the initial call, but no, for me, discovery calls are free. I do them in between my coaching clients. I actually require anybody I work with, I require them to do a discovery call with me. I will never, if anyone tries to sign up for my services blindly and they just say, hey, I know what I want, this is what I want to do, I'll kick it back and say, well, let's have a call first, because I want people to know who I am and what I'm going to do on your job search and how my process is, right? I don't want people going in blindly and then being surprised if it's not the way they want it to go, or they're wondering, what did I just do? What did I spend my money on, right? It's important that you know exactly my process and how I help you with your job search. So the calls are 100% free. You just have to get on the calendar. They say 15 minutes. They usually go a little bit longer than that. And I'm happy to have a conversation. So
okay,
should we keep answering questions?
Yeah, 1 second, Jamie. Let's go down the pile here. YouTube page, if the link was above, 100% free. LinkedIn group, 100% free. Podcast, if you so choose, 100% free. Jamie's discovery call, 100% free. So people walk around telling you that we're spamming them or we're trying to get money out of them. I just gave you a bunch of things that are 100% free. Jamie, go back and answer for Susan Ways. How does someone differentiate their application?
Oh, we answered that one already, and we answered Claire's question here a little bit too. We're on C Biz, who's on YouTube actually, which is cool. They say, how do you stand out from? Oh, we kind of talked about that one already. How do you stand out from the applicants? Okay, I'll kind of share just like a little tip on what to do. What I would recommend doing is this: if a bunch of people are applying to the same opportunity, what I would do is, if I'm applying to a job on LinkedIn and I know, first off, if I know who the recruiter is, you better believe I'm probably going to send them a message and just introduce myself. I might say something like, hey, John, I just wanted to connect with you and let you know that I recently, I just applied to this role within your organization. I'm looking forward to the possible opportunity of interviewing for this role and sharing how I can impact your organization. Just nice and simple. You're not asking for a job. You're not telling them you need a job. You're telling them you want to connect and you're excited for this opportunity. Okay, that's one thing you can do, right? Another thing you can do too, if you want to try to stand out, this is something I talk about in my LinkedIn profile sessions. I would go, this is something it's a crapshoot. It might work, it might not, but you're better off to try things than not to try things, right? What I would do is I would go to that company's LinkedIn page. If they have a LinkedIn page, I would look at one of their recent articles that they posted, a blog, something about how they recently won an award, or maybe they're highlighting somebody in their company, or maybe they're sharing something good that they did in their company. And you know what I'm doing? I'm going to leave a comment joining in the conversation. I'm going to add some insight to that post. I'm going to leave a comment because chances are nobody's left comments on their post. So I'm going to leave a comment, and at the end of that comment, I'm going to sneak in a little blurb that says, by the way, I just wanted to let your company know that I recently applied for this job requisition, whichever one it is, and I'm looking forward to the opportunity to interview for this role and share how how I can impact your organization with my skills, whatever it is. Chances are somebody's going to see that post. Somebody's going to see your comment. It could be their social media team. Somebody's going to get notified. They might look at that comment and say, wow, this person actually left a comment on our post. And they're also looking for an opportunity in our company. Let me look at their profile. Let me pass on their profile to the person who's hiring. What do you think that does? It puts you ahead of everybody else and possibly gives you a chance of standing out versus everybody else who's just blindly applying to roles. So that's just one tip. I got plenty of different tips that I like to try that I share in my paid coaching sessions, but that's just one tip I want to share. So
let me expand on that, Jamie. Let me expand on that. Every major city has a business journal. In Boston, they have it. New York, the business journal. Go to the library and look for people that you read the versions of the business journal. See if there are articles about places that you've applied or interviewed for. And if you, as Jamie says, find an article about someone that you interviewed with or somebody at the company, physically mail that with your resume to the people in that company and tell them how much you'd love to work for that company. The fact is, you're noticing, you know, like if it's the person you work with, you would say, "Gee, here's something I just saw from about your company, and this reiterates what a great company you have. I would love to work here." And with a little letter, because the fact is, it's special. Not everybody's going to do that. It's just something to think about. Same idea as what Jamie was saying. So go ahead, Jamie. We've got a cover letter.
Good point. Yeah, good point, Anthony. Yeah, cover letters. So I'm probably the last person you want to ask about cover letters, to be honest with you, because I'm in the boat of cover letters are antiquated, and I don't know if I don't know how let's see who's our talent acquisition professional in here. That's Courtney. I don't know if she's still in here. She might want to add to this conversation, but I really don't like cover letters, to be honest with you. I really feel like there's nothing that can't be said in your resume that your cover letter has to portray. And if I'm gonna write a cover letter, if I'm thinking about even remotely writing a cover letter, I would rather almost send a cover letter or something similar to a cover letter in an email to a recruiter, a hiring manager. I'm the kind of person who likes to look. I like to do research. I like to look up emails and things like that. If I can find the person who's recruiting for the role, I might send an email and just give a little spiel, a cover letter that way, because chances are somebody's more better to, they're probably going to check their email versus reading a cover letter. When I worked for big companies like Chase Bank and AT&T, we would get like hundreds of applicants, right? And if everybody submitted a cover letter, I would not have time to go through every cover letter on top of every resume possible, right? It's just too much. So half the time we didn't even look at cover letters, and I know a lot of my peers feel the same way. So I'm not a big fan of cover letters. I mean, I do offer templates when I work with people and things like that, but I really focus on the resume because I feel like the resume is what's more important. So that's on that question here. Sybil says, I hate it when the interviewer asks me, what is your weakness? How do you answer that without putting them off?
Look at the answer I put below, Jamie. I reply with, I never stop and take time to give myself credit because I'm on to the next task, but I'm working on that. That's what I tell people is my weakness.
Oh, that's your weakness. Okay. Yeah. So, in that question, right, you don't want to answer it in a way where you jeopardize your chance of getting the job, right? It's kind of like that thing where, we can talk about our strengths till we're blue in the face, but then when we get that question about the weakness, we're like, oh my goodness, I don't want to say something that's going to put off the recruiter, right? But what they're really looking for is they just want to know that you're not, they know that nobody's perfect. They know that we all have weaknesses. If you tell them you don't have any weaknesses, you're not going to get the job, first off. If you want to, what you want to do is you want to talk about a weakness, but also talk about what it is you're doing to fix that weakness. What is that? What are you doing to improve on that area of opportunity? There's times where I've interviewed people and they've just told me what their weakness is, and they never talk about, they kind of stop. They don't talk about what they're doing to improve on it. What are they doing to fix it? And I'm like waiting for the punchline, and it's crickets, and that's it. All you have to do, you just need to talk about something that is a true weakness and what you're doing to fix it, and you need to be genuine and authentic with what you're saying. That's really all there is to it. I mean, they're going to decide what's best for them. I promise you that the weakness question is not going to be the one that's going to make or break you going to the next round. That's for sure. So let's see. Okay, let's see here.
Susan has an update on the cover letters. She
What did you say?
Susan has a comment on the cover letters. No time to
Oh,
read them.
yeah, I mean, of course. Well, Claire says I was in HR. We never read them. I don't understand why they ask. The problem with that, Claire, is that these companies use antiquated um, hiring applications and hiring programs, and they don't remove they don't remove the option have an optional cover letter. They require it, and they don't read them because they just use the same application system the entire time, and they don't change the way their hiring processes. That's really all there is to it. And let's see. Look at that. Courtney says, I'm here. I'd agree. Antiquated. I'd like to see everything in the resume. I love the idea of a personalized email or message, though. Yep. That's kind of my point behind that. I love that. Thanks for sharing, Courtney, because I once posted this about every so often I post about cover letters, and some people agree with me, and then sometimes I get attacked in my posts, and that's just how it is, right? You put something on social media, not everyone's going to agree, and that's okay. But that's just how I feel about it. So Susan says, I think right now there's no time to read cover letters, but it can be a quick disqualifier if they ask, you don't provide it. Well, yes, if they ask for one, you kind of have to provide one at that point. I mean, if they're telling you they need one, then you got to pull a rabbit out of your hat, and you got to create one. Then, I mean, that's what they're telling you that you have to do, right? But I mean, if you don't have to provide one, I wouldn't do it. Chris, we got some good stuff here. Let's see here. Chris
Well,
says, go ahead.
yeah, go ahead. Above, yeah, go to Chris now. We're about the resume templates. Then Courtney says resume length. I want to make sure you saw that. I'm not sure if we addressed that.
Yeah, I do see that on here. Awesome. Okay. Chris says, I've seen a lot of resume templates. Some are very slick and clean. Slick and clean, that's my nickname. No, I'm just joking. Versus traditional templates. Doesn't matter. Meaning, does style over substance matter? If you have substance, does that style help accentuate it more? I love that question. I think we're overthinking it a little bit. I always tell people this: resumes are, resumes don't need to be beautiful. Resumes are not winning beauty contests. Okay. They're not, I would rather see a black and white, straight up and down resume, no pictures, just regular bullet points, no columns, things like that. Give me a black and white corporate looking resume. When I work with clients, I have a template that I use that's very ATS friendly. It's very it parses really well in a lot of different applicant tracking systems, and it's not going to win any contest. It's not going to win a beauty contest. But I've seen resumes from people that have pictures on them and colors and logos for their email and their phone number, and I'm like, just stop it. Like, if you were a graphic designer, then by all means make a resume like that, but make sure you send it directly to the recruiter, because I promise you're not going to want to send that directly through an applicant tracking system. Just regular, plain Jane, black and white, corporate looking resumes is what I like. So that's that. Courtney says, Jamie, what are your thoughts on resume length? 2 pages or less. I mean, there's been times I have done resumes for people that were 3 pages long, and they were usually because they were senior leaders, like executives, CIOs, right, things like that. CCOs, things like that, and you know, they had so much information that I didn't want to leave anything off, so I made it 3 pages. But I always try to err on the side of 2 pages or less. 1 page, if you can do it, I guess do it. But I find with 1 page, it's just very you're cramming everything in, and you put your font size a size 8 and it's too small. 2 pages is good. I try to keep my cover letters 2 pages, at least 2 pages, and no more than 10 to 15 years of experience, if that.
Um,
Go
Keisha,
ahead.
give you. Let's go to Keisha's question on a resume. How many bullet points
You
for
know what?
each
You know what?
role?
3 to 5 is good, actually. I when I build resumes, I like to separate responsibilities for accomplishments. The way I do my resumes is I put a summary, I put a small paragraph of responsibilities of the job, what the job entails. I want to know what your responsibilities are because I want to know what you do in the role. So I put the responsibilities in a small paragraph, and then I put 3 to 5 bullet points of qualitative and quantitative accomplishments. These can be number-based accomplishments, or these can be just qualitative accomplishments, which are just like things you've done, projects, stuff like that, right? But 3 to 5 is usually good enough. I think so. 5 to 7, when I see people do 5 to 7 bullet points, usually it's mixed. It's a mixture of responsibilities and accomplishments. And if I'm only taking 15 to 20 seconds to read your resume and glance over it, if I can't differentiate the difference between responsibilities versus accomplishments, chances are you might go in the pile where I don't end up interviewing you, and I interview somebody else. So that's a good question, Keisha. CBiz, man, we are on a roll here. People got some questions here. I could talk all night long. Let's see. CBiz says, can one of you talk about the AI algorithms out there that is now prevalent in the hiring aspect? So I can't really talk about that too much. To be honest with you, I know that these applicant tracking systems are evolving. Companies are making them more AI, like keyword based, ranking candidates top to bottom. I mean, there's so many different types of applicant tracking systems. I can't really speak to how the algorithms are playing and whatnot. I can tell you about LinkedIn algorithms all day long with posts and stuff like that. But from the hiring aspect, it's very hard to say what each system is using and how it works. But I definitely know that these companies are they're getting more kind of like they're finding tools to help filter the best candidates versus the ones that are not the best candidates. So good question. Good question. That's
My
I think
answer,
yeah,
Jamie, my
yeah,
answer to that is focus on developing yourself to be the best candidate possible because that's something you can control. Education, volunteering, interests, development, spiritually, physically, mentally, making sure your profile shows everything about who you are. Let the AI, let the algorithms find you for all you are, and then let them figure out based on your own greatness. You focus on what you can control, which is your greatness, and then they'll find their way to you. So let's
right.
not worry about stuff you cannot control. Go with the other
No.
stuff.
There's plenty of stuff that you can't control in a job search, right? And why make it even harder, right? There's already so many things you can't control, like ageism and what's some other thing? Your ageism and job gaps and companies hiring internal versus external and budgets all of a sudden going out the window when you have 5 interviews and you thought you were going to get the job and the company says we don't have a budget anymore for this role. Sorry, it's on hold. Like there's so many things that you can't control. So yeah, definitely make sure you control the tangibles you can. And Sybil says, I'm an English language teacher. I've been working for 30 years. Should I include all the jobs I did in my CV? I mean, CVs versus resumes. I know CVs are like CV is your whole job experience, right? I mean, in a CV, sure. I don't know if you're referring to resume because some people who say resume is the same as a CV. I mean, if it's your CV, then obviously you can put everything in there. But for your resume, that you're submitting for applications, 10 to 15 years max. Nobody cares what you did 25, 30 years ago. I don't even care if you're a senior leader. Like, I don't care what you did 30 years ago. The industry's probably changed since then. I don't really need to know what you did then. What's important, most recruiters are going to spend time looking at your first page and a little bit of your second page before they determine if you're, a good enough fit to have an interview, right? I mean, I could go back on my resume and talk about how I used to work at Blockbuster Video and when I was charging people for overdue movies, but nobody cares about that anymore. Blockbuster's not a thing anymore. So, yeah, 10 to 15 years is good enough. Awesome. Yeah. Make sure you guys check out, if you're not checking out Anthony's YouTube page and his podcast and stuff like that. He does a lot of cool stuff. I haven't gotten to that point yet where I'm doing videos and stuff like that. Eventually I will be. But like I said, I know we have a lot of great people in here. I don't know if anyone's ever worked with a career coach before. If you have a bad, if you kind of have a bad taste in your mouth because you see so many career coaches on LinkedIn, but I promise you that if we do a discovery call, I'm not going to try to sell you on anything. It's just going to be a casual call. I'm going to put together an action plan for you if you decide you want to work with me, and I'm going to review your resume for free because you took the time to step outside your comfort zone and set up a call with me. I think that's the biggest thing. If people are just afraid, they just have to take that step and say, you know what? Maybe I could use some help. Maybe I could use some assistance. Let me talk to Jamie about it. So, yeah, what do you say, Anthony?
This week is going to be the unemployment figures for last month. What I tell people to do is look at those statistics because it's going to tell you what people were hired, what fields, where they were hired, what parts of the country they were hired. But the point is, you want to find out what are the hot jobs in your area. If you're a little stagnant, where you're not getting a lot of people calling you, you start developing yourself by getting education in the areas of the hot jobs. You're now expanding your candidate capability because you're going into those hot areas. Look at the stats that come out this Friday. Look at the government page about the jobs. Look at the data and see what of the hot areas in your part of the country or the world, well, more so the country, but you can look it up locally around, in your country as well when you get your unemployment stats. But find out what's hot in your area. Start taking classes or education in that area, and that will incorporate and make transferable what you're already doing into that hotter area. Remember, guys, Jamie, tell them it's not about the applications, how many you filled out. It's about
One,
the
one,
number one, which
one.
is the one yes. Do you understand that? One
Right.
yes. That's all you're looking for. You can sit there all day, all night, talk about all the things. If you go out to LinkedIn, you're going to see a lot of people talking about what they failed at. What we talk about is how you look past that and you look to gain success because your development, your candidacy about yourself, your confidence is what helps you to gain success. Right, Jamie?
Amen to that. Yep. It's all about that number one. And why waste your time spending time counting how many rejection emails you get, how many applications you fill. I mean, applications you filled out is fine. I mean, you should keep track of your applications because that way you can keep track of where you are in the hiring process. But why would you keep track of how many rejection emails you get, how many times you've been told no? Like, who cares about that stuff? That doesn't matter. What matters is you pick yourself up after every time you get a no and you say, you know what? That's their loss. It's their loss. It's not my loss. You gotta flip the script and you gotta think to yourself that they're never gonna get to see the greatness you would have brought their company. And it's their loss. And if the other person works out, great. But you know what? You'll find the right company that's gonna see your worth. And that's all you need is that one yes. Right. So I'm very I'm very strong on that whole thought process, and that mindset is just being positive and getting that one yes. And you know, uh, Keisha says, "Can you add your LinkedIn on here for us, Jamie?" I don't, for some reason, I don't know why. I mean, I set this up wrong, but I can't leave comments in here for some reason. So I got to fix that. But Anthony, if you want to copy and paste my, I don't know if you can copy and paste my LinkedIn URL on my page and just copy and paste it in the chats. If you can do that, that'd be awesome. So everyone can kind of find my
Yeah,
page.
yeah. Let me
Um,
do that.
yeah, while you're doing that,
Let,
let's see. Go ahead.
here, Jimmy. Let me set that here. You should see a chat there. See if you see a chat. Maybe you can just drop that in that chat, and I can bring it over to the
No,
other side.
just you know what? If you guys type in the search box on LinkedIn, if you type in Jamie Edwards, my last name's Edwards. If you type in Jamie Edwards and you type in Jam Sessions with Jamie, you'll find my profile picture. It's I'm wearing a black hat, pretty easy to find. You'll see me on there, and it will say President of Jam Sessions with Jamie. If you just type in my company name, you'll probably find me. So that's the best way. Just look that up and send me a connection request or follow my page, and that's where you'll find the link to my calendar if you want to set up a discovery call as well. So, Sybil says, thanks, Jamie and Anthony. It was great help. No problem at all. Hopefully, if you need help with anything, Sybil, I'm here to help you out. Just set up a call with me. Claire says, make sure you fill out the application. If you pass it up, you'll most probably be disqualified. Out of 600 resumes I reviewed, at least 500 skipped it. It's a pain in the neck, but don't leave it blank. Uh, I'm not sure what you mean by make sure you fill out the application, don't leave it blank. I mean, obviously you're going to fill out the application if you're going to apply for a job. I mean, maybe you mean a part of the application, don't leave blank. Um, I'm not quite sure. If you want to clarify that, Claire, I'm just curious what you mean by that. Yeah, we got 8 minutes left here. So, if anybody has any other questions they want to add, I mean, you know, your job searching has changed so much. Long gone are the days where you leave the house at 8 in the morning. You have a black folder full of resumes and cover letters, and you walk into businesses and drop them off. Like I remember those days when you could walk into a business and dress up really nice and drop off a resume, and who knows, you might have gotten an interview then, right? Now there's just so much that goes into it from a personal branding perspective, from what you're doing on LinkedIn. What are you talking about? How are you visible on there? Like that's why, I work with so many people, is because I've seen how the changes have happened throughout the job. I've seen how the job search has evolved over time, right? And this job search is tougher than ever because there's so many people who are looking for opportunities and there's so much talent out there. It's harder to stand out. So that's what I do on there. So, Max says, thanks so much, Jamie. Great tips from both. We'll be reaching out, Jamie. Awesome, Max. Please send me your make sure if you guys do set up a discovery call with me, please make sure you send me your resume either through LinkedIn DM or email. You'll see my email out when you sign up for a call. Make sure you send me your resume so I can take notes on it before we have the call. So, Susan has a question here. If there's a position you are particularly interested in, what extra steps can you take to increase your chances of getting an interview? I kind of talked about it a little bit, right? About commenting on their LinkedIn page, connecting with some of the recruiters directly on LinkedIn and just sending them a nice message, right? Maybe sending them an email if they have an email on their page, and just sending them an email introducing yourself. I
Jamie,
like yeah.
Susan, go to the company page. See if you're linked to anybody in the company, even at second level. See if you can get them to pass your resume or talk about you in HR. Because if you get hired, you could get them a referral bonus. So see if you have contacts inside the company. You may not even realize you have contacts because somebody you think works at company A may work at this company now. So go check the company page and see if you have any contacts there and chase them. That's another way to get in, right, Jamie?
Right. It's another way to get in. And make sure too that make sure also that if you have an what did she say? Yeah, increase your chance of getting an interview. I would also too connect with other people. This is another tip, kind of a golden nugget that I share in my paid sessions here. But what I like to do is I like to connect with people in the company that have the same that are in that opportunity currently. So let's say you're looking for a project manager role at Microsoft. I'm going to try to connect with other project managers at Microsoft, and I'm going to introduce myself to those people, and I'm going to see if they have time to set up for a 10 to 15-minute call where I can pick their brain in an informational interview and find out how they got their foot in the door. What do they like most about working for the company? One thing I've learned over time is that people love to talk about themselves. They love to talk about how they got to where they're at today, what were the steps they took, how did they do this. If you take interest in somebody's career and you act like you're interested in them and you want to have a conversation with them, that might be your ticket to getting a referral directly for that job, right? So informational interviews are something I talk about in my coaching sessions, and how to go about them, how to ask for them. I have templates, all sorts of different things. So great question, Susan. Claire says candidates didn't fill out the required application. Our employer wanted it attached with the resume. Most applicants didn't fill it out. Our employer immediately disqualified the candidate because they didn't follow instructions. Well, yes, that's a given. I hope so, right? I mean, I can't believe it's not a given. You're telling me a lot of people got disqualified. Yes, if you are filling out an application, make sure you follow the instructions on the application. There's a reason why they're there. Don't try to get around it. Don't try to leave things blank and whatnot. Like, make sure you fill out everything it's asking you for, because then you're not going to hear back, and you might even get ghosted. Okay, and you don't want to get ghosted. So there you go. There's the random pillowcase just sitting in here. I thought that was funny, but that was a dad joke right there. But anyways, let's
Right.
see. What's going
You
on,
don't
Anthony? What's going on your end?
you don't want to get Caspered, right? You don't want to
Right,
get
Casper,
Caspered.
Casper the Friendly Ghost, right?
That's right. We
Exactly.
don't want
So
that.
exactly.
So Jamie, in the last couple of minutes, are you seeing a lot of people getting hired? What's going on? What are you seeing?
I'm seeing um, more jobs popping up than ever. Spring hiring is in full steam now. So I'm seeing a lot more jobs out there, and more jobs are coming, right? People are starting to, companies are starting to know they know what their budgets are now for the year. They're hiring for the upcoming spring, summer, things like that. So I'm seeing more jobs out there, which is a good thing. A lot of my clients I'm working with are getting jobs, which is great. I just helped get someone hired who was looking for a program coordinator job, and she just got hired. So after about a month and a half after we were done working with each other, I stayed with her, and she ended up just finding an opportunity. But yeah, hiring is picking up. Daylight savings time is next week too. Remember that. So make sure you guys make sure on Saturday night, you guys make sure your clocks are ahead 1 hour, because that's going to change too as well. Sybil says, "Won't they feel threatened?" I'm not sure if she's talking about reaching out to those people people that work for the company. No, nobody should feel threatened. I mean, that's what LinkedIn's for. You connect with people, you try to form a relationship, you see if they can be instrumental in your job search, you take interest in them, right? No, I don't see why anyone would feel threatened. If the worst case scenario is they're not going to accept your connection request, they're not going to respond to you. I mean, that's going to happen if you don't contact them. You're never going to hear back from them anyway. So why not set yourself up for success?
So Jamie, in the next few weeks, we're going to be going to probably Wednesday nights or another night during the week. We're going to talk about that. But do you still want to keep doing these every couple of weeks, Jamie?
Yeah, let's do them. I mean, we'll probably change it to either Monday or Wednesday, guys. And most likely, I think Wednesday might work good, but I mean, Monday or Wednesday would work best. Tuesdays won't work for me anymore, unfortunately, because I got coach my daughter's soccer practice. But yeah, we'll keep doing these. I mean, it seems like you guys like them. It seems like we're starting to get more people on these calls, which is great. We love the questions coming through, and thanks for being on this call and spending an hour with us. And yeah, I say we keep this going, and hopefully, I can meet some of these people in their job search and help them out with their with their job search, maybe working with them or whatnot.
All I ask and all Jamie asks is that you spread the word about what we do. This is not like every other LinkedIn job search related LinkedIn live event where they talk to you from 50,000 feet because they've never been unemployed. We come to the ground and talk to you about things to do to get you moving in your job search. We take an interest in all of you. We want to make sure that you get a job. You walk away feeling confident. You walk away feeling that this hour has helped you. We ask that you please spread the word. Tell as many people as you can about what we do. And also, please make sure that you continue to come to these events, take advantage of the free things that we offer you. And, the paid stuff if you want, but take advantage of the free things and see what you think. Uh,
Yeah.
I I ask anybody put in comments what you thought of the last hour. I look forward to seeing them. Jamie, final thoughts.
No, Keisha said thanks for she appreciates the advocacy and energy on the call. Awesome. Yeah, we try to bring that energy, right? That's what it's all about. So enjoy the rest of your day in Seattle, Keisha, and LinkedIn user. I don't know who you are, but said thank you both. This was a great informative session. So you're welcome. I don't know, your name's not popping up, but thank you for that comment. And yeah, no, we'll see you guys in a couple weeks here, and I'll look forward to hopefully meeting some of you on a call. And like I said, we'll be very transparent. I'll review your resume. I'll tell you a little bit more about my services and the cost. And like I said, everything is very transparent. There's nothing hidden on the calls. Everything it's just trying to help you out and seeing if it makes sense to work together. Thanks, Courtney, for jumping on. Thanks, Susan, and yeah, Anthony. I think we're good to go. We'll talk about our next call.
Yeah, probably March 19th, Jamie. I got to check my schedule to be in, Courtney, I did drop Jamie's LinkedIn profile in the chat. It's above. I will drop it in there again in the next couple of seconds.
Here,
But
I'm gonna
Jamie,
send. I'm actually gonna send. Let me see. I'm taking some snapshots here of the people's names in here and whatnot, and I'm gonna send. I'm gonna send you all connection requests as well if you didn't beat me to it first. So that way I can connect with all of you and have you be a part of my network. So I'm gonna send a connection request to everybody.
okay, but I'm going to put Jamie's information right here again. And everybody, we really ask that you go out, spread the word, and help people to feel confident like you feel right now, because that's what we try to do. The biggest part of getting a job is making sure you understand that you are your own best advocate for yourself. You don't
Right.
walk into an interview begging or down or sad, because you know what? You wouldn't hire that person. So you want a person who believes in themselves. That's the person you would hire. So be that person. So
Yep.
that's it.
Yep.
Jamie, thanks again. Final call. Anything you want to add, Jamie?
No, that's it. Thanks, guys, for a great conversation, and we'll see you next time.
All right. We'll talk to you.
All
Thanks.
right, talk
Bye,
to you guys
everybody.
later.
Rock
Bye.
on. Bye bye.